Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the charts to talk about 3 altcoins that I think have massive potential in the very near future. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7, completely free to join. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not check it out today? And if you're looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, why not check out Patreon as well? Link in the description down below. We offer a lot more services down there, so why not check that out if that's your bag. Right, let's jump on down into the desktop, waste no more time, and get right into the very first altcoin. Okay, guys, the very first one I want to talk about is actually Solana. Now, this is an overhyped altcoin in my opinion, specifically when it's got so many issues, right? We're always seeing there's issues with Solana. That being said, though, it's hard to ignore the fact that it has got some kind of pattern here that actually is indicating that we are moving on up slightly, or at least on the medium to term anyway, right? And essentially what this is kind of talking about is that the Solana itself is a growing ecosystem. It's being spoken about widely by a huge range of different influencers across YouTube, Twitter, etc. Now, there are, of course, issues with Solana. They're hard to ignore. There's a lot of issues that do keep cropping up with this particular platform. However, from a technical analysis point of view, kind of ignoring all the fundamentals and focusing in on that kind of stuff, we cannot ignore that there's a fifth wave coming up higher here for Solana. So essentially the structure here is impulsive in its nature, right? It's a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 structure, okay? So basically 5 waves here, 3 waves here, 5 waves up here, 3 waves here, then 5 waves here, right? That's kind of the structure that we're looking for. Now, for the most part, this is actually following its track quite nicely. Now, there's one concern is there's actually possibly going to be 5 waves inside this little section. So there is that as a caveat, right? In the same way that we also saw it over here in wave 2, right? I think these are actually more complex corrections than simple corrections, which is unusual because normally one is simple, one is complex. But you can argue that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then potentially 5 coming down lower. Now, if we do have that and we do cross this dotted line here about 106.43, that would invalidate everything on Solana, right? So essentially there would be no fifth wave up if we cross down lower than 106.43. Okay, so keep a good eye on that. We cannot cross that wave 1 high. That would invalidate the structure. However, if that is not the case, and considering we are oversold now on the hourly, on the daily chart, on the 8-hourly chart, we're just coming out of it. On the 4-hourly chart, we actually could see a bit of a correction on, or we can just rally up. It's okay, and we are pulling back right now on our hourly chart. So overall, on the macro side of things, we're looking pretty good. As long as we hold above 106.43, we're pretty good here. And essentially, what I'm talking about long term, if we take the current price up to our low target, we're talking about a 37% push, right? So 37% for Solana here. This ranges between $153 and $170, okay? So as long as we stay above 106, that's the kind of range that I'm thinking about here for Solana on the potential for this altcoin, right? So if we are thinking about, some kind of medium-term hold, probably several weeks, I'm probably going to say it's going to take at least a couple of weeks, I would have thought, to kind of move in that general direction, right? So a couple of weeks hold maybe, and then get out at maybe like 153, 170. These are the kind of ideas that I'm batting around in my head as to whether or not I want to jump into Solana and ride it for this particular length and time, and then jump back out. What I'm not doing with Solana is having Solana as a part of my hodl bag anymore. I was out at $185. Essentially it went a little bit higher, but I was done with it at that point. There's far too many billionaires that are vested, and I don't know exactly when they're actually, able to sell those tokens. So I don't want to be stuck in a project that potentially has, that kind of dumping capacity on me. So that does bother me a little bit. So I'm not going to be in Solana for any kind of long-term holds. I will be just basically trading it as I see it. So this is an opportunity for me, I think, to kind of maybe piggyback on about a 30 or so % move on Solana. So a pretty good first altcoin to just kind of get out of the bat there. Solana's looking like it's going to be moving up. As long as it stays above 106.43, that's a pretty good position to be in. Now, guys, I'm pleased to say that this video has been sponsored by Crypto.com. Now, Crypto.com is the world's fastest growing crypto app. With over 10 million users worldwide, it's easy to see how this thing is growing legs and running right now. As you can see, we can buy and sell cryptocurrency at at the true cost, with over 250 different cryptocurrencies and 20 different fiat currencies using bank transfers and things like that. So essentially buying and selling at the true cost, and then fees are calculated separately. Some exchanges actually build those fees into the cost of the cryptocurrency. You end up paying a little bit over the odds, but here at Crypto.com, that is not the case. Now, the main reason that we really like Crypto.com are for their debit cards. Now, the crypto card basically allows you to earn cash back and rewards on your everyday expenses, right? Something that is maybe a little bit overlooked at times, right? But this is a fantastic thing that actually allows us to really dig into this, right? Up to 8% can be achieved here. So if we scroll down here, there are several different tiers available. Chris and myself, we have the Royal Indigo and Jade Green. Basically, we earn 3% cash back on all our expenses. This is something that you guys might be familiar with Chris buying his Range Rover on the card. Basically earning a very, very juicy return. Now, there are limits on the amount that you can spend in 1 month on the card, or can load up on the card. So to buy Chris's Range Rover, we had to use 2 of these, but we did and actually got a really juicy return on that. Of course, there are additional levels, right? The entry level is basically 1%. Now, that requires no staking, right? So some of these cards actually require you to stake the CRO token, the Kronos token, in order to be able to actually be eligible for them, right? So 0 staked, it can get you 1% cash back, and yeah, straight up you can just apply for that, and it's fantastic. And you can just use that in doing your grocery shopping or your everyday expenses, and you'll earn 1% cash back, which is just absolutely fantastic. And the second one, Ruby Steel, requires $400 worth of CRO being staked, and you earn 2% cash back, but you also get 100% rebate on your Spotify. The Royal Indigo is $4,000 staked. 3% is the cash back. You get Spotify 100% rebate and Netflix 100% rebate, a whole host of other things in here as well, into airport lounges as well. The next level up is 40,000 staked, 5% cash back. Netflix, Spotify, Prime, Expedia. You've got the airport lounges. You get private Crypto.com. You get bonuses, and you get merchandise. And then at $400,000 staked, 8% cash back, you get Spotify, Netflix, Prime, Expedia, Airbnb, airport lounges, private.com, Crypto.com. You get earn the bonuses, and you get the merch pack, but you also get private jet membership, and all of those also come with limits on the ATM withdrawals. So essentially, guys, if you haven't already checked out Crypto.com, links in the description down below. If you use that code in the description down below, you'll earn $25 when you sign up to one of those Crypto.com cards as well. So guys, I'll leave that there. I won't jump down into any more on the Crypto.com side of things, but guys, it is seriously worth it. I use it all the time, and I earn a lot of CRO in return. So let's jump down into this again. What is the second altcoin I want to talk about? This is actually one I spoke about yesterday. It has pretty good boosts as well. Again, sticking to the smart contract theme here, but basically Cardano is also primed for a pretty good move to the upside. We've hit the low targets on the macro side of things that I was expecting to hit. There's a little bit more of a finessing move going on here. We might actually see us a little bit lower before we get in. So check out yesterday's video if you're looking for real good entry points on Cardano there. But essentially, we're looking for this fifth wave again, like Solana, tracking really, really nicely. Invalidation for this is actually reasonably low as well. So if it drops down lower than 91.5 cent, then the structure is broken, but until then the structure still stands. And unlike Solana, there's no complicated moves going on here. Essentially what you've got is a nice ABC move. Okay, no 5 waves, but it is complex in the way that you've got a 3-3-5, for example, going on inside there. But otherwise, for the most part, Cardano is actually tracking really, really nicely. We had this double top hit here and get created on the 3rd wave highs, and then basically we're just pulling down into the 4th wave low. Now for Cardano, this is looking to track from the current price up to the lowest target about 26%. If you go up to the higher target, you're talking 36%. Okay, this is ranging between 131 and 142. Okay, and this is the kind of range that I'm looking to trade. So I'm still looking for a little bit cheaper. Okay, I do think there's a little bit of an opportunity, so do check out yesterday's video if you're looking for a good entry points and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, it is also worth noting that I am not a financial advisor. I cannot offer you financial advice, and therefore this is basically just educational purposes. Make your own financial decisions. You're going to be hard pushed to find a financial advisor on YouTube. So with that being said, Cardano does look poised and ready for a good move to the upside, along with Solana and many other altcoins as well. And again, the returns on this could be pretty good if we ride this up to that lower level. I wouldn't be keen on riding it any higher myself, because the market is going to be incredibly volatile closer and closer that we get to these fifth wave tops. Okay, we would be expecting some kind of really large pullback to occur afterwards. Okay, so I want to make sure that's very, very clear that these fifth waves right up here, they are a bit more of the riskier ones, right? The safer moves are the wave 3s. Wave 5s generally are people who feel that they missed out on wave 3, so they ride it, and again, it just becomes a little bit riskier than wave 3, for example. So essentially, yeah, we want to be tracking this one quite nicely. I think there's a good move up here to be had. If I do take it from the lower point to where I'm going, it's about 30%, which is pretty good from the current entry points that I'm thinking about up to the highs. So yeah, Cardano is the second altcoin I think has a lot of potential alongside Solana, both tracking into those fifth waves nicely after these fourth wave corrections, and all of that stuff's looking pretty good. So let's go into the final one, right? The final altcoin I want to talk about is VeChain. Now, VeChain is actually one of the better ones out of the three in terms of percentage points, right? If we just take it from our current pricing right down here, what we can do is we can see this is about 45%. Okay, again, it's tracking a fourth wave low. Like Solana, it's in some kind of complex correction. We're looking for the reversal that should be humming anytime soon. I think there's a little bit more downside to still be had. Invalidation comes in on this dotted line down here at about 5.727. This high point just here, I'm going to just check it. 5729, sorry. Okay, so that's going to be the point that we want to look out for, because that's going to be, if you drop down lower than that, the invalidation of the structure. But essentially, I'm looking for a tiny bit more drop, not too much, somewhere between 6 cent and 6.3 cent, and then we look to track upwards, right? So if we do drop down into those lower ranges, we're talking about over 50% on VeChain here, which would just be absolutely insane. So if we were to jump in right now and kind of think about that, it's about 45% on a multi-week hold, but essentially riding this up into that low range. Now, I think this is going to go to about 9.6 to 10.9 cent. It's going to be in that kind of range. So that's kind of where I'm getting these numbers from. So essentially, I'm thinking 45% is the low range of 9.6 cent from the current price. So again, that's a pretty good hold and a pretty good return on investment on a very short period of time, right? So what I've kind of gone through here are three altcoins, some that you might really love, some that you might really hate, right? VeChain, for example, is an altcoin that some people just generally don't like because it's heavily integrated into China, but it isn't just China-based, and there's a lot of thud around that. It is actually worldwide. It is globally adopted by absolute behemoth enterprises around the world. These are people that you don't bet against, in my opinion. And it's really hard to think that VeChain's ever going to fail, considering the amount of adoption it has with these absolutely mammoth companies, right? Then we've obviously got Solana. Solana has issues, and technically it's coming down a lot. It's got various different things going on there, but it is a growing ecosystem, and it is significantly hyped by many other influencers in the space. Now, you can love or hate that. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the amount of VCs that are early adopters of that one, just waiting to drop their coins on the market. So for me, I'm out at $185. I've been out for a while now. I'm not really jumping into it in a long-term position, but I will be happy to trade it if the data suggests to me that it's likely to move on up. And then, of course, we've got Cardano, another one that gets a lot of hate sometimes, ghost chains or shit coins, and also these different kind of names that are thrown at it. But essentially, all of that doesn't generally matter too much. Again, it's like Solana. It's a growing ecosystem. It's got some pain points here and there. And again, its data is suggesting a really good, nice move to the upside as well. So all three of these coins, guys, are looking very, very good for a short-term trade, in my opinion. But that's all it is, an opinion, my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot offer you financial advice. It is important that you do your own research. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.